Okay, disclaimer, I have seen some episodes of One Piece. Kinda. It was mostly on in the background. I probably paid attention to like 10 episodes. And there's 1,000, so I basically haven't seen One Piece. But everyone everywhere all the time tells me it's a good series and recommends it. So I recently decided to actually watch it. And now 44 episodes in, here's my experience with this show. Spoilers. Also leave a like and sub to the channel. At first glance, the world of One Piece looks like our own, but then you look closer and it's a little more wacky. People look fucking insane. The character designs are interesting. You got people with odd features or clothing, animal-human hybrids, there's fruits that give you strange abilities. Also, there's pirates sailing around, and they don't look like Jack Sparrow. I remember as a kid I didn't like these character designs, but kids are dumb, and I was a dumbass kid, because these pirates look fucking sick. Alvida, she's a bulldog looking pink lady. Buggy, he's a clown. Captain Kuro, he's got claws, he wears a suit, and has glasses. Riz. Don Krieg, he wears like Spartan armor, with guns. Sick. Mihawk, pimp of the sea. Look at this dude with his big ass sword cutting boats in half. He's pretty cool, I don't know. Then Arlong, he's a walking shark guy wearing a Hawaiian shirt and I don't know, like a trapper hat. Jack Sparrow who? Nah, Arlong in a scarf and bucket hat. So these pirates are supposed to be the bad guys because they hurt people and take over towns, but honestly they aren't threatening. They feel like joke characters to me. Well, except Mihawk and Arlong, but Buggy, Alvida, even Don Krieg, they're childish or incompetent, and you can't really take them seriously. I understand that's the joke, but I don't know, I kinda wish it wasn't. Now with these threatening villains, you need someone to keep them in check. Ladies and gentlemen, the Marines. These guys take up half the population of the world. They're freaking everywhere, risking their lives fighting against piracy. And they're all douches. Seriously, Axe Hand Morgan, this guy is such a narcissist, referring to himself as the greatest and putting up statues of his likeness. His son Helmeppo is somehow worse, because he's a spoiled loser waving around his father's status. I hate them. The Marines just suck. Except Kobe. He's a wimpy kid who genuinely wants to help people and make a difference. Like Kobe sees how bad the Marines can get, so he wants to do better. And speaking of good guys, there's also good pirates, like Shanks. He's Luffy's father figure, or maybe even a big brother. He's all about doing the right thing, being the bigger man, having red hair. His crew are also good guys, even if they shoot people point blank.
What murder?
Also, there's these guys. Maybe you've heard of them. They're called the Straw Hats. There's Monkey D. Luffy, our main guy. He's a lovable, hyperactive dummy. Some say he's annoying. I think he's a funny guy. Luffy has a one-track mind, only ever thinking about food or following his dream of finding the One Piece and becoming king of the pirates. Your typical shonen protagonist shit. Luffy is also a stand-up guy. He always wants to help others for almost no reason but that they need it, for nothing in return. Also, he ate this devil fruit thing called the Gum Gum fruit that gave him stretchy powers, so that's fun. Zoro, he's a famous pirate hunter and talented swordsman. He's well known for his 3-sword style. That's when he fights with a sword in his mouth. Swordsman characters are always cool, and Zoro's got a pretty cool demeanor. He seems like he doesn't give a crap all the time. He's got resting bitch face, he's cocky, he sleeps his injuries off. He's got this macho mentality that almost makes me want to stop being a soy boy. Almost. Nami, she loves money, always in the background stealing shit, mostly targeting pirates, because she hates them. Okay, she's not all about robbing people. Nami is also good at reading maps and makes her own. She even becomes the crew's navigator, so she can rob them. Oh. Huh. Usopp, he's a liar, always making up stories and calling himself Captain Usopp. On top of that, he's a coward, shits his pants at every sign of danger. But he's pretty good with a slingshot. he's okay, I guess. And Sanji, he's a pretty good chef who's got a dream of seeing the All Blue, a place that may or may not exist. He doesn't like wasting food and will kick your ass if you do, but also he just wants to impregnate every woman he meets. So that's cool. Let's talk about the story arcs. They suffer from that early shonen pacing. It's garbage. They take forever to get to the point, and on top of that, the first 4 minutes of the episode are usually the OP and then a recap. And then there's the outro, so make that 5 minutes of the episode lost. But for the most part, the arcs are okay. The Romance Dawn arc feels like mostly setup. Like, we meet Luffy floating in a barrel, then he gets picked up by the Alvida pirates, who are just there to get their asses kicked and show off Luffy's powers. Also, we meet Koby, and he informs Luffy about Zoro, who's held up at a marine base. So Luffy goes to free him and get him to join his crew. Then he agrees to join pretty quickly. They fight Axe Hand Morgan. I guess he wasn't the greatest. Also, Nami has been stealing shit in the background. It's just an arc that gets the ball rolling. Orange Town is where we meet Buggy, another pirate with a gimmick. He's someone new to fight, who also shows us how cruel pirates are and how goofy they can get. Also, Buggy introduces us to another devil fruit power. He ate the Chop Chop fruit, which allows him to split his body up. We also officially meet Nami. She steals Buggy's map to the Grand Line, and then she pretends to join the crew. Syrup Village. Here we meet Usopp, and quickly learn he's a liar, and his town hates him, because he's always warning them about pirates that never come. He thinks it gives their lives excitement. I think he's just a douchebag. In this arc, Usopp has to save his friend Kaya from being killed by her butler Klahadore. He's secretly Captain Kuro, leader of the Black Cat Pirates, and he's been plotting her death for 3 years. He was willing to be her butler for 3 years? Anyway, Usopp grows a pair, saves his friend, and becomes a real man who doesn't lie anymore. Nope, he still lies. I don't care much for Usopp. Oh, also they get a ship named the Going Merry. The Baratier arc. Luffy wants a cook, so they stop at the Baratier, a floating restaurant in the middle of the sea. And while Luffy works there as a chore boy for destroying their roof, he meets Sanji, who's the perfect cook for their crew. Then later they have to fight off Don Krieg, who came to take the restaurant as a new vessel. And Luffy learns of Sanji's strong will and determination while they save the Baratier. Then Mihawk shows up, and Zoro fights him for the title of Greatest Swordsman. Doesn't go well. Then during the chaos, Nami steals the Going Merry, forcing everyone to split off, while Luffy defeats Krieg, and then Sanji joins the crew. Arlong Park. So far, this one is the best in my opinion. The crew chases Nami to an island under the control of Arlong, and it's revealed she's a member of his crew, but she only joined to buy her village back from Arlong, which is why she's always stealing money. Arlong actually feels like the first menacing bad guy.
He's just standing there, menacingly!
Because he killed Nami's adoptive mother in cold blood. Also, he's made out to be this super strong guy, because he's a fishman, and they're much stronger than humans. So that gives Luffy and the others a tough time fighting him and his crew. But as usual, Luffy saves the day. I mean, obviously, this is episode 43 of 1000. Then he gets a wanted poster with a bounty of 30 million berries, making Luffy a more well-known pirate. The arcs are fun. Not the greatest, but fun. But I do like how these arcs explore each character. Like with Usopp, we see him risking his life and never backing down, so he can save Kaya and everyone else in Syrup Village. Even while getting his ass kicked over and over, Usopp learns what it means to be a brave warrior. During the Baratier arc, we learn that Sanji has a big heart and good morals, saving a pirate named Gin from starvation. He understands what it's like to starve, because as a kid, he was stuck on a rock for months with very little food. We also learn Zeph was there with him, and ate his own fucking leg just so Sanji can eat. I know he didn't eat his leg, but could you imagine? That would have been crazier. He actually cut his leg off to save Sanji's life. So Sanji grows up with a lot of respect for Zeff and his restaurant, leading him to defend the Baratie from Don Krieg and also Gin, who's a member of Krieg's crew. Then Zoro's dream of becoming the world's greatest swordsman gets explored. He had a childhood friend named Kuina. They were rivals and he always lost to her. So one night, after losing again, they made a promise they would both work hard to become the world's greatest swordsman. But the next day, she died. Wait, she died falling down stairs? What? So Zoro carries this promise with him, which is why fighting Mihawk is so important. And after losing to him, he feels like he disappointed Luffy, because he wanted nothing but the greatest swordsman in his crew. So with tears running down his face, he swears to never lose again. And I think Arlong Park is so good because of its layers. Nami only works with Arlong to buy her village back. She's been doing this since she was a kid. And she won't let anyone help because of what happened to her mother Bellamere. She was killed after not being able to pay Arlong's fee for her entire family to live. So she gave her life over Nami and Nojiko's. And because of that experience, Nami can't let anyone else get hurt. So she deceives Luffy and the others and turns them away, just to spare their lives. But after Arlong hires a marine to take her money, she loses all hope and breaks down in the middle of the road, with the memory of Arlong's laugh filling her head. Then Nami yells out his name as if she was cursing him, and in her anger, she stabs her arm with the Arlong tattoo. Then Luffy shows up and stops her. Nami still tries to get him to leave, but he won't. So through her tears, she finally asks Luffy for help. Then he puts his hat on her head to give her reassurance. The same hat he won't let anyone touch. This scene is powerful in so many ways. It got me to tear up. But then I became super hyped when Luffy, Zoro, Sanji, and Usopp walk down the road to fight Arlong and his crew, with Overtaken playing as they walk down the road. You know what song I'm talking about.
Let's go.
The animators knew this was hype, so they made sure to drag this scene on. And no, it's not because they needed to fill up time. Come on. And during every arc, Luffy helps his friends and everyone he meets. He looks out for them and keeps their best interests at heart. Every time he sees someone causing harm, he does everything in his power to stop it. And even if he is a dumbass, you just want to cheer him on and watch him succeed. Best dude. Well, I guess that's it. I'm actually really enjoying One Piece. It's a little weird, but I'm here for it. And now I understand why this series is so beloved, and why it has such a big impact on not only its fans, but also the anime and manga industry. There's still a lot left, but I'm looking forward to what comes next. And eventually I'll come back with a second video covering the next few arcs. So anyway, thanks for watching, have a nice day, peace out.